What secret can you reveal now that your NDA has expired? I worked at Apple on the Apple Maps team. One of our contractors accidentally deleted all of Australia once, and they missed their chance to move it somewhere reasonable when putting it back. Signed so many in my career, but two stick out. 1. Joey Lawrence can only be referred to by Joseph or Mr. Lawrence on set and cannot be more than 50 yards from his workout equipment. 2. Bruce Campbell has absolutely no official writers in his contracts, but hell, invent them if he doesn't like the people he's working with to be funny. A friend of mine was paralyzed while riding a trek. He and his family signed the NDA because they needed the money to pay for healthcare. The quick release in the front tire was faulty, and the front tire came off. He was going down a hill, he was thrown and instantly paralyzed. The lawyer found out that Trek had paid off multiple people who were paralyzed by the same quick release issue and was able to get a very large settlement. I eventually found out about the NDA pushed by Trek and haven't bought one since. I always share this story when I hear that someone is looking to buy a mountain bike. Elsevier, the company that makes a lot of the compulsory textbooks for university, commissioned scientists to develop a new book-binding glue designed to fail after 3 years, as they hated that there was a second-hand market. This is the worst thing in the thread for me. I already had a grudge against them for charging me an astronomical price for a textbook I needed that didn't even come bound. It was 3-hole punched and you had to put it in a binder. I'm getting angry just talking about it again. Edit. And yes, of course you supplied the binder yourself. I had a professor who did this. She hired her own printer to print it out and sold it at the bookshop for like $20. She was awesome. I'm sorry it wasn't the same for you. That is so shitty. I had a professor that put his own book on the syllabus. The first page was a tear out with a form to put your name, class number, and student number. It was to be signed and included with the first assignment. If it wasn't turned in with the assignment, your grade was 0. The assignment was worth 10% of your grade. It effectively blocked the secondary market. We never discussed the book in class or needed it for anything. It was related to the course and helpful, but in no way mandatory. Just a way for him to sell a couple thousand books per year. Dick. Sometimes, when you contact support agents for mobile games, we can 100% fix the issue and restore things you have lost due to game bugs. But you didn't spend enough money, so we were told not to help you. Policy changes depending on your spending tier. This isn't exclusive to CSRs in mobile games either, really, though generally it would be passed off as, since you're such a loyal, long-term user, we can make an exception in this case, etc. You want to keep the reliably spending user, after all. Walmart pays department managers to spy on competitors. They have a handheld scanner device they give you to go to other places and scan their price tags. Those all go into a big database to keep track of how much they should price their own products to keep people coming in. The workers are told if they meet resistance to never mention Walmart and deny any wrongdoing. Before Redbox swapped to chip and pin credit card readers, circa 2021, the old swipe-style readers stored your credit card info in a text file, plain text, on the computer in the kiosk that anyone could have accessed. When they upgraded, there was 0 plan to go into each computer and delete that file. There are 30,000 plus Redbox kiosks floating around with a file of credit card numbers and names to go with them.
I was a marine cabinet maker and worked on super yachts. I can tell you all the hidden compartments I built into things to store weapons, money, valuables, etc., mainly used when transiting or near places with pirates. My favorite was a pop-out in the leg of a table for a shotgun. TBH, this job sounds fun. I ended up living in a house owned by a yacht carpenter. Was very fun. All the features were small and flush to the wall. All the hardware, hinges, knobs, etc. were aluminum. My room didn't have a closet, but there was a slightly smaller room next to it with a folding table, shoe rack, built-in closets, drawers. Was pretty whimsical, walking in off the asphalt and snow to walk into the inside of a boat. No NDA, but something I learned that I probably shouldn't have. I was working in an aircraft hangar that would strip and respray full commercial planes. One day, I noticed a fleet of Boeing employees setting up on the hangar floor, and when I asked why, they said that one of the new planes had a hard landing, and when they stripped it down, they noticed cracks running the whole way along the hull. I said, presumably it gets dismantled and investigated for weaknesses? They looked at me and were like, nah, she's headed to Africa now. Basically, it's too much money to scrap/write off, so they send it to a country where if something goes wrong, it's not as big a news story. Every industry cuts corners and hides shit, even the ones you pray shouldn't. Worked at JP Morgan. Innocent people's accounts were sometimes closed because fraud teams and investigators did not look deeply enough into transaction activity and customer information. I blame the company for not giving employees enough time to investigate and analyze cases properly. They are running through accounts and transactional history due to time crunch and output metrics. AJ Ample. They might see a student receiving $10,000 a month and accidentally money laundering, when in reality, the funds were coming from relatives or a family member who was a doctor helping cover tuition and living expenses. These somewhat rare, unfortunate situations happened regularly, and over time, the team became desensitized to them. If your account was ever blocked or closed for no clear reason, this may be part of why. There are some natural gas pipes in the US that are not documented in official records. No conspiracy, just bad record keeping from many years ago. There are also many natural gas pipes that should be replaced immediately for safety reasons. The general state of the pipeline infrastructure is deteriorating and virtually no one cares. I worry about an increase in natural gas explosions in residential areas in the coming years. Zenus. Memory foam mattresses are made with fiberglass fibers. If you open a zipper on the mattress or take off the removable outer cover, then your home will be exposed to the fibers and it may ruin a lot of your belongings if not caught fast enough. I don't have an NDA, but soon their class action lawsuit will be over, and after settling, then I will not be allowed to publicly tarnish their reputation. Until then, though, I can say what I want. Edit. Just coming back to say, holy cow, this blew up. Sorry to hear all the other people who had the same problem as me. It's too late probably to join the process I'm in since it's almost settled. There may be others if you do some searching. Not offering legal advice. Some Lowe's stores haven't cleaned their AC units in 20 years and you breathe mold every time you shop there. I think this is true of a lot, like maybe not most, but close, of different buildings. I've worked on a lot of buildings and seen a lot of absolutely filthy, clogged, half-caved-in filters.
I worked on a certain sci-fi show that starred a male and female duo who worked for the FBI. On a location shoot in a heritage building, the male lead was supposed to kick in a fake door we had made. He ended up kicking in one of the real location doors and got us banned from using that location in the future. I also worked on another show where one of the lead actors had a mental breakdown, and we had to shoot the last 2 episodes without him. There were lots of shots of his body double's back, as well as a couple deepfake shots where his face got pasted on in post. Watching the show, you might not notice, but if you go in with the actual knowledge, it's obvious as hell. I'm being vague because my NDAs don't technically expire, we just get to a point where no one cares. A school in London had to pay me £35,000 compensation after telling me I was taking too long to recover from cancer treatment and that I should leave my position. They initially offered my £5,000. Even my solicitor said I should probably accept when we got to an offer of £15,000. But I was angry and very stubborn. Lol. Much of what you hear on the radio on call-in shows, prank shows, and general reality segments is fake and performed by actors. I was a contractor for a company that hired actors for this purpose. It was long ago that I don't really remember all of what I did, but I clearly remember playing a person getting pranked by a radio show host. And I remember a scenario where another actor and myself had to pretend to have gone on a date that the show set up. The first one was a recording to air later, so we tried a bunch of different reactions and lines. And the second was live on air. It's usually structured improvisation with just a few details set.